Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. I am sitting down to make my second talking you to sleep video. It is a perfect time for me to do this. It is Saturday afternoon and it is raining outside where I am. So I feel nice and cozy and in the ASMR mood. Cleo, my cat, is also here with me. She is lounging on her scratch pad. She wants to play, but she's also very sleepy, I can tell. So hopefully she eventually gives in to her sleepiness and falls asleep. Which is actually pretty fitting for this video because it's likely that you're watching this when you are trying to fall asleep as well. But whether you're watching this when you're trying to sleep or watching it while you are doing something around the house or working or just relaxing during the day, I hope that it finds you well and that it is enjoyable. So I explained the idea behind these videos in the first one that I made, but basically it's the kind of video where I just sit down and talk for the whole video, and it's my stream of consciousness. So I don't have a plan for what I'm going to talk about or say, but instead I'll just be talking about whatever comes to mind. So let's talk about what I did this weekend so far. So like I said, it is Saturday for me. It might be for you as well. And lately in my life, I have just been busy working. I am finishing my dissertation for school, so I'm very busy writing that and planning some final studies to run. And then a few other things for work. And by the way, when I say in any video that I am working or doing something for work, I do just mean school. I have a bad habit of interchanging school with work when I'm talking. So just so you know, when I say work, I mean doing work for school. It's kind of an interesting situation because I am a student but I'm a graduate student. And being a graduate student is a little weird. It's not, you don't quite feel like a student. I am lucky enough to be getting paid. So instead of me, I pay tuition, but I also get an income through TA-ships. So, in that way, it feels like more of a job than being a student. And you're also just at this sort of level where, and you're older, and for those reasons too, you don't quite feel like a student. And although I had to take classes for grad school, they don't quite feel the same as classes that you take earlier in school, because they feel much more collaborative, I guess, instead of it being a teacher teaching you things. So, anyway, I think I can be a little bit confusing sometimes, even just in life when I'm talking to people. When I say I was working, they usually think that I mean an actual job, which makes sense, but I actually mean working for school, doing schoolwork. So my life lately has been busier than usual, with work and with getting ready for my move, which I've talked about already a couple of times. I am moving back home, back to my home province. And so, of course, I've been busy packing and trying to plan how I'm going to move and when exactly I'm going to move and all of that. And there have also been certain things that I've been wanting to do before I leave. So I don't really love the city that I'm in right now, and so I'm happy to be moving. But there are some cool spots that I wanted to visit before I left. And one of those was a little theater that's about a 20-minute walk from my apartment. And once I move, I'll give a little shout out to the theater. But for right now, I'll just say it's this cute little theater. It just has one theater, one movie at a time, and I'll put up some pictures maybe of the inside of it, because I did take some pictures. And as you'll see, it is really old looking. It has really old, I think, velvet seats, and they're really, really comfortable, which is kind of funny because that's a general thing sometimes I've noticed, is that like more modern things are actually less convenient or comfortable than the old versions. And you'd think that it would kind of be the opposite. That doesn't always happen, but like I've just noticed that with certain things. For example, theaters and the seats at like the big movie theaters I find uncomfortable. And then I go to this old tiny independent theater and the seats are really comfortable. It also has the antique signs you'll see in the pictures, but they have those old signs and this old Coca-Cola sign, and they had, it feels like you're kind of going back in time, which I love. And I'm talking about this because I went yesterday to this theater for the first time. There is another theater like that just across the street that I visited a couple of weeks ago. But I liked this one better. It was even more, it had that old feel even more. And so I went there yesterday, and I'm really glad that I did. It was a solo trip to the movies, which I never would have done before when I was younger. But I've done it a few times now, I think 3 times, that I've gone to the movies by myself, and the first time was a little hard. I was pretty anxious about people thinking I'm weird, but now I don't really get nervous after doing it again. And I really like it because I'm so introverted, and like watching a movie by myself allows me to focus even more on the movie. So it feels even more immersive. And yeah, so I did that yesterday. I walked to the theater. There were about 30 people there. Between 30 and 40, I think. And this movie-going experience was a really good one. I went to see Past Lives, which is about a woman who immigrates to America with her family when she is 12. And from Korea. And she leaves behind her good friend, who's a boy, and they were like childhood loves. They were like this really adorable kid couple, basically. But she had to leave with her family to go to America, and I think 20 years pass, and then they reconnect through Facebook and start talking again, and they still have a connection. And then stop talking again, and then the girl, she gets married, and the guy gets a girlfriend too. But then they reconnect again a few years later. And then the story goes from there. You're left wondering if they're going to ever get together or not. And this is now one of my favorite movies. It made me cry. I was by myself in the theater crying. I was actually trying not to cry as hard as I felt like it. I was holding back. And I don't normally cry very easily. In general, and in movies, I don't generally cry. So it really means that it made me feel a lot, because I was actually crying, not even just eyes watering, but I had tears going down my face. It was just almost a perfect movie for me. The romance parts of it were really, really good. The characters had really good chemistry. Basically, there are only 3 actors in it. You only really see the 2 main characters and her husband, and they're all really, really good, and they had good chemistry between them. But especially, no, actually all of them, but like you see the main character, the girl, Nora, the most, and she's amazing. Her name is Greta something in real life, and I knew her before from The Russian Doll. She plays a supporting character in The Russian Doll, which is a Netflix series, which I recommend, especially season 1. But, my gosh, this movie was so good. It was, pretty existential, and it really, really made you think and feel stuff. And also, it's one of those movies where it makes you feel sad but happy. And that really accurately depicts what life is like, and what love feels like, and what getting older feels like, and making sacrifices feels like, making hard choices. Yeah. So, it's a really well-loved movie already, and I definitely see why. So, that whole experience yesterday was really awesome. I kind of decided to go spontaneously, which I always find to be when the best experiences happen. I find that deciding to do something at the last second sort of being with someone else and saying to them, do you want to, like, all of a sudden just having an idea, like, do you want to go to the beach? And it's like midnight. And your friend is like, F it, yeah, let's go. And I don't know, there's something about that makes me feel youthful and like alive, and it makes it feel often, not always, but feel more fun than if you had like really planned it out and planned out, you know, what you think would be a perfect outing or whatever. Sometimes the best times end up being things that you didn't plan, or you didn't like plan on until the last second. And yeah, I've been learning over the past few years slowly to really romanticize my life. You know, like seeing the beauty in small things. Like, you know, I could have gone to the movies yesterday and then not really thought about how cool it was at the theater, or how cool it was that I got to walk there and on a nice summer evening. I don't know. I find that I get more out of things if I actually sort of think about them as if I was in a movie or something like that, and sort of romanticizing it. And I guess part of it is being mindful, practicing mindfulness, and being in the present. Because I also could have been, you know, walking home from the movies and thinking about the future, thinking about what I was, you know, going to do today, or worrying about something. But I've learned over time to I don't know, I guess stop and smell the roses would be a good phrase for it. Sort of like staying present and staying focused on the moment and looking for the good in it. So, yeah. Anyway, I did that yesterday, and I also realized yesterday before I went that Taylor Swift's new album, Speak Now, well, her new version of her old album, Speak Now, came out. So I realized that and was listening to that non-stop before I went to the movies, and then on the way and on my way home. And now I've been sort of obsessing over that. That album was, I think, the one that I listened to the most out of her albums. Like when I was young. And there's so many hits on there that, and the ones that I really love. I really love Haunted. I think Haunted could be my favorite song of hers. Just like the bridge in that song, and I find it so catchy and fun to sing and really emotional. And what I really like about that album is a lot of the songs are long. They're like 5 minutes long. And I personally, if I find a song that I like, I want to listen to it like over and over again, and so I'd rather it be long than like 2 minutes and be short. Yeah, so Haunted, Speak Now, Long Live, Enchanted, The Story of Us, Mine. There's so many good songs on that album, and so I listened to that yesterday a whole bunch and was feeling nostalgic, but also enjoying her new, older take on the songs. A lot of them were very similar, but you could tell that her voice was a lot different. And she had a few new songs. I liked, I think it's called Timeless, and Electric Touch, which is the song that she recorded with Fall Out Boy, I think. So I like those two. I didn't really love the other ones, but I find that sometimes I need to listen to songs a few different times before I like them. So, yeah. If you are a Taylor Swift fan, let me know what you thought about it if you listened. Maybe what your favorite song is. I forgot, in these episodes, I also want to make it a tradition to tell you guys what my current read is, what book I'm reading. So, right now, I'm actually in the middle of books, because right before I sat down, I finished Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave that book 5 stars, so obviously I loved it. I'll talk more about it in another video, but I don't know, I thought it'd be fun when I make these for it to just be a little thing that I mention, since so much of my channel is about books. So after I film this, I will be choosing my next read, which I am in between a romance, a small town romance called Done and Dusted, which is supposed to be just a fun, short, small town romance, and it's like a cowboy romance, which I really like usually. I like the country vibes, because I'm from a small town and it is sort of in the country. My dad is very country. I tend to like that kind of thing, which reminds me of, every time I think of like country romance stories, I think of the Nicholas Sparks movie, The Choice, because I think it's based in like North Carolina or something, and the guy is very country, he has a very country accent, and I love that movie, which is making me wonder if I should give Nicholas Sparks books a try. Especially the ones, so I do like the movies based on his books, the ones that are out there, so could be fun for me to read the books, because maybe I would really enjoy them since I like the movies, but then again, maybe the movies are better, so. But lately I've just been in a really romance mood. Don't know why, but feel like reading a lot of romance and watching romance movies. I might even watch one tonight, or I guess yesterday I watched one, Past Lives. Yeah, so going back to my next read, I might read Done and Dusted. I might read Flawless, which is very similar, I think, but maybe a little bit more serious. Also a small town country romance. But that book has a whole series. I think it's called the Chestnut Springs series, so might read that. And then I'm also wondering if I should try to read a fantasy. So I'm kind of in the mood for a fantasy as well. I have The Serpent and the Wings of Night on my Kindle, and I might read that. Yeah, so I'll keep you updated. And I hope that these videos are relaxing. I hope that if you are trying to fall asleep, that you either are asleep or you feel sleepy, and I don't know, if you paid attention, let me know what you thought of anything. And next time I have some thoughts, I'll come back and I'll make another one of these. I really appreciate every one of you for watching. I really am trying to create a space that feels comfortable and is easy to listen to and to watch, and also to create a community who can talk about a whole bunch of different things, whether it's books or movies or life. That's what I hope to do, and to hopefully build that sort of community, while also just being a source of comfort. So thank you for being here. I wish you well and all the best, and I hope to see you again soon.